Hi and welcome back to Purple Color Life. In today's video we're talking about how to load and trailer your PWC. This information should be useful to someone who's not experienced as a jet ski or PWC rider. We're doing this demonstration today on our SeaDoo GTX. Now you can see Jennifer starting her approach here from quite a ways out from the trailer, and I encourage this. You want to get a feel for what direction the current's moving, be able to make slight adjustments to keep your line headed towards that trailer.
This is definitely the part of boating that I would like to skip. Definitely not an equal partner.
Now this is what we're calling method number one. You've got someone on shore who can help you align the jet ski or PWC or SeaDoo with the trailer.
Definitely not like driving a vehicle.
No, the driver of that truck, which was me, I backed the trailer in, wet the bunks by backing the fenders clear under the water, and
Tell me
then
when to
pulled out
shut
a
it
little
off.
bit so there'd be enough resistance for the jet ski to slide onto those bunks. You can see here, Jennifer, once she shut the engine off, there wasn't very much steering, but being on shore, I was able to guide the front of the jet ski properly onto the bunks of the trailer. Like I said, this is method one. You've got someone on shore who can help you. Now I'm going to let the winch do all the work. Jennifer's going to slide to the back of the jet ski.
You need me to get off of it?
I've got the hook attached to the front of the jet ski, using the winch to crank the jet ski up onto the bunks and put the nose of the jet ski, the bow of the jet ski, in the roller that it should be sitting in. And I'll show that connection later in this video. Sometimes you have to lift up a little bit to get it lined up perfectly. You saw me doing that right there. Good.
Good.
Did you talk them through it while you were doing it?
Yeah, I said I hate this part. Not an equal partner. It's not like a vehicle. If you're not giving it throttle, you have no steering. You always make it seem easy.
Okay.
At least last summer I got to where I could back the trailer down in the Expedition, so.
Yeah. All right, I'll pull you up out of the water, and then we'll talk up there.
Okay.
You want to stop it? Or you want to leave it on while I pull you up?
Are you allowed? Is it legal?
I don't know.
We're always on the fence about whether or not, if it's by state or if it's by body of water, of whether or not you're allowed to sit on the watercraft while it's being pulled out. So I don't know.
Now this is method two. This is going back in time a little bit. You can see we've got our old truck here. This is me. I had the SeaDoo attached to the dock, using reverse to back away from the dock. Do a quick little loop here so I have a good line headed towards the trailer. You can see I'm a distance away. I'm figuring out where the current's going, making my adjustments, feathering between forward and neutral to get the right speed coming in. I've got the trailer backed in so that the bunks are wet, but still going to give some resistance when I come up on. So you can see here, get my resistance. I'm going to give it a little bit of throttle to get my nose a little bit closer to that roller for the bow. Then the rest I've got to do after I get off, I had to lift the front end up on top of that roller, connect the hook, and I'm letting the winch pull it tight. I do miss the sound of that 6-0 diesel. So there's what it looks like on the trailer. We've still got to connect the back, but we're also going to take this opportunity to drain the plugs of the hull. So this is the part I forgot to mention before we launch, was checking these drain plugs. You can see there's a little bit of water that comes out after you run it, but what I do is once I've drained it, I put that back in every time. And there's one on each side. Drain this one too. A little bit of water in there. Put the plug back in. What we like to do is wipe down the side, because you can see that there are watermarks that accumulate over time. And the quicker you wipe them off, the easier they come off. These ones are pretty permanent now on this machine. It sat in the water a lot before we owned it. So you want to make sure your strap comes down around and not, this is part of the steering system, so you don't want to come across that, you want to come down below it. Then this hook just goes through this part of the trailer, and it's a simple one push to get that locked. Fold this in place, and the Velcro holds it all there. It's a really easy system compared to the old ways of attaching your jet ski. That's good and tight. Same thing on this side. Make sure you're coming down across the bottom. I'm going to pull this tight. Flip, fold, 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 Velcro. The other thing we want to do is reconnect our trailer lights. So again, this is the 4-prong. Our truck has that on the bottom. Check our chains. In Pennsylvania, the chains are required to be crossed. So you can see I've got them crossed right there. That would cradle the tongue. If the tongue did come off the ball, the chains would cradle it. Ball on the hitch, locked in place. Now the process of bringing the jet ski in was probably hard for you to see because you were on Jennifer when you was coming in, but she took a long line. You want to get it lined up from far out. You want to know kind of how the current's pushing you. You want to try to hit the bunks of the trailer straight on, but if you have another person like Jennifer had me, if it's not lined up perfectly, it's not that deep of water, someone can wade in, grab the front end, redirect it, and you want to let the crank do most of the work. So when this was released, I pulled the strap down to the front of the jet ski, locked it like this, and then cranked it, and that's what pulled the jet ski up on. You can see the nose, the bow of the jet ski is sitting in this nice cradle. My strap is underneath the loop. You don't want it on top. You want it underneath the loop and hooked to the front of the boat. Just like that. You can actually see winch liner strap must be routed under the bow roller before attaching to the watercraft. Some people hook it on the top, and that's not safe. You want to go underneath. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this little tutorial was helpful to you, how to put your boat in the water, your jet ski in the water, how to ride, start and operate, and how to load it back onto the trailer. One other note, remember this is the SeaDoo GTX. This is a 4-stroke engine, so you don't have to mix oil with it. And I'll show you where the gas fill is. On this machine, you lift the hood and the gas fill is right here. Takes regular gasoline. We do like to run ethanol free in this just because it's better on the water, but you can put regular unleaded in it in this machine because it is a 4-stroke engine, not a 2-stroke.
I would say the biggest piece of advice to having any type of watercraft is to be able to do it with a partner, and I would recommend one who feels more confident helping than what I do.
No, you did a good job.
No,
What I had to do is get it close to the truck. I was able to back the truck down, and then I was able to get it lined up on the bunks. But you've also done it on the bunks before too, so.
I know, but we've had watercraft now together for 15 years, and I'm still out there. I'm confident enough But I feel like the process of in and out and trailering, I'm still not confident.
Yeah, it's something you just, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and that's why it's entertaining if you watch any of those other channels like Wavy Boats or whatever, because it's not a super easy thing to do, and people mess it up pretty often, so it makes entertainment. And
yeah, but I don't want to be that.
yeah, we don't want to be on that channel. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found these videos informative and entertaining. If so, please give us a big thumbs up. Leave those comments down below, other tips or tricks for people who are maybe new to the PWC world. I always recommend, if you're going to do something like this, you know, we bought a used PWC. This is 2006. Didn't break the bank. Found one that had only about 140 some hours on it, so low use. So this has been a good machine for us for the last couple years. Had to put a battery in it last year, about $260, but basically easy to maintain, easy to just come out and run because it's a 4-stroke. It's a pretty simple machine, 155 horsepower.
Let's eat.
Let's eat. Thanks for watching.